Thanks for coming. A couple quick comments on the game. We usually give out the champion awards, which we did today. On defense, these are the guys that played well. For the new media people, it's champions. We give everybody gets graded, and if you give champion effort, you get recognized in front of your peers. And champions on defense were Jalen Holmes. Had a heck of a day, 7 hurries and 2 QB knockdowns and 2 PBUs, 2 tackles, 2 assists, tackle for loss. We had a hell of a day. Nicky Bosa had 2 sacks, 4 QB hurries, and 4 knockdowns. Draymond Jones, 6 hurries and 1 knockdown, a tackle for loss. Sam Hubbard, 3 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, 7 hurries, and 6 knockdowns. Have a day, Sam. Tracy Sprinkle and Jordan Fuller obviously had interception. Defensive player of the game was Tyquan Lewis with 2 tackles, assists, 2 tackles for loss, a sack, a hurry, and 3 QB knockdowns. On offense, J.T. Barrett, I won't read his stats, he just played very well. You know his stats. On receivers, you have K.J. Hill, Johnny Dixon, which is great to see, and Terry McLaurin, graded champions. All 5 offensive linemen did, so that's pretty good for the first start for Brandon Bowen. All 5 offensive linemen graded out champion: Isaiah Prince, Billy Price, Brandon Bowen, Jamarco Jones, and Michael Jordan. And we had co-players of the game. Paris Campbell had 7 catches, 142 yards, and played very well without the ball. And J.K. Dobbins making his first start as a Buckeye, 91% grade out, 181 yards rushing, and 3 explosive runs. So that is on offense. On kicking, you had special efforts where Amir Reep had tackle inside the 50, on the 13-yard line. Austin Mack had a tackle on the 12-yard line on kickoff, and Drew Chrisman, our punter, punted down one on the 8. Our Thursday race runner, which we call him, is Elijah Goins, who had a heck of a day. And Amir Reep was our player of the game. He had 9 plays, 13 production points. A lot of work to be done as a great football team comes in here. We have a lot of respect, obviously, for the personnel and the way they do their business. So this will be a great opportunity for us to showcase in front of a big crowd and come back home and play a game. You evaluate the game, which I'm sure I'll get a bunch of questions. Disappointed in certain areas, which is not uncommon for the first game when you have some new players out there. But overall, I thought we tightened up. I want to say we gave up 55 yards passing in the last 20 minutes of the game. And obviously on offense, you had 300 yards, a nice balanced approach after we had, other than the 4, I think there were 4 3-and-outs, which killed us in the first half. Kills your defense, too. So that said, I'll answer any questions for you.
Right, Nick. A lot of series now between non-conference opponents are going to neutral sites as opposed to the traditional home and home. As a coach, do you have a preference, one way or the other?
Going to a neutral site or playing home?
Yeah.
I'll play home, but once again, I don't get involved in too much of the scheduling, and I like to play in a horseshoe, if that's the question.
And when you look at Indiana, they have a very clear offensive identity, a veteran quarterback, some big talent receiver. Is that a good team to play right before Oklahoma? Would that make your team better?
It gave us, our corners, some humbling and some, obviously, to get out and go. Players, you come here to be great, and our coaches coach here to be great, and in some areas we did not play great. So to answer your question, I think to beat a team 70-0 right now is not what we need. We need to get some guys, a lot of guys played 90-plus plays, and I'm glad we played them on a Thursday now, because now they gave us a couple extra days to get healed up.
Front row left, Bill.
Urban, it seems like you may have the perfect scout team guy for Baker Mayfield if you're using Tate Martell in that role. I don't know if you guys are. Are you, I guess? And then do you see similarities between Tate and Baker Mayfield?
Interesting. We have not yet. I think tomorrow we probably will a little bit. But Baker is what I love about the kid is he's a young man. He's a competitive guy. So yeah, that's an interesting comparison, and I haven't thought much of it, but I can see that in Tate as well.
And then different topic. You mentioned before about how you guys recruiting nationally might open up Ohio to other programs. Do you keep tabs on who is taking advantage of that, and maybe do you take note especially of when Oklahoma is in Ohio the way they are this year? It seems like they're more active in this class.
Oh yeah, we actually follow guys through their journey when they go somewhere else too, because I want to know if we made a mistake. and that's tough. To be honest, I can't stand it. And that's early recruiting has hurt us with that because everybody wants to know if they're offered, and so yeah, we're very leery of it. And I'd like to take all our players from Ohio, but you also got to take the best players, and we do our best to evaluate and project as well because we've had incredible players here. There were projections, and so we monitor who comes in the state. We monitor how well the players do. We track their whole careers. For example, I'll come in and say, tell me about whatever happened to this guy, and I need to know where and why if we did make a mistake, and we have made some mistakes.
Front row left, Mitch.
Urban, what do you know about Lincoln Riley? Is it more difficult to game plan against a guy like that who doesn't really have a coaching footprint yet?
No, because they have the same coordinators on both sides of the ball, and I know Coach Bob Stoops very well, and I know why he did that because he thought he would carry on the same culture that he created, and so it's going to be the same Oklahoma team.
You know anything about Riley?
Just coaching against them last year, and we'll say what they did throughout the season. I mean, they had a great season last year.
Front row right, Austin.
To kind of follow up on that with Bob Stoops, you talked about your friendship with him a lot. Were you surprised that he stepped down? Had you had any conversations that you might have seen this coming, or since then, since he's moved on?
Well, we've had a couple conversations since he's moved on, and I did not see it coming. However, I just know how important family is, and I know he's a real guy. He's a guy that is a friend, and I have much respect for him over the years, so I'm really happy for him.
Do you think there's any chance he could return? I mean,
I don't know.
with Lincoln Riley, have he ever been on your radar as a guy to work with, or ask you?
I remember when I believe it was East Carolina. He was a really good, one of those hot names that you researched a little bit, and I did research him a little bit, but obviously he's a great coach.
Second row right, Bill.
Coach, you mentioned Sam and Type 1 and the job they've done, obviously those stats in the pass rush, but what has impressed you about that defensive line's ability to help stop the run?
Yeah, they negated the run against, at one point it was minus yardage, I think, going in the fourth quarter, and Draymond really had a good game there as well. So the ability, we played an inordinate amount of plays, and I'm not sure we would have been able to, I don't want to say not win the game, but that would have been if you don't have a rotation going in one of those kind of ball games where you're playing 90 plays, and its pass rush is so much more exhausting than run defense, because rushing a quarterback is one of the hardest things to do. And to do that, I think they threw it 65 times, and you're blown out. So we were able to, Coach Johnson got a lot of players in there and kept them rotating. So being able to be fresh and be able to stop the run, they're very good players, and they're going to be very good all year. I think the biggest thing we have advantage is there's a rotation going, and that makes us good against the run and the pass.
Front row, Bill.
Now that you've had a few days to digest the IU game, how ready do you think you are for Oklahoma?
Not yet. We're not just Monday practice, but we got to get better in certain areas. There's no doubt about it.
Which areas other than you mentioned defense?
Yeah, I've already talked about that. The obvious is we got to knock some balls down, and the one thing about IU, that quarterback was extremely accurate in that game. I told him after the game, that's one of the most accurate games I've ever seen a quarterback play. And the receivers made a bunch of great catches, and we got to knock some more balls away. So that's one area. And coming out the offensive line, we played well for a good majority of the game, but we had gave up one sack, I believe, and that was nonsense right at the end of the first half. But we didn't get the movement early in the game that we got later in the game.
And I'm assuming that Mike Weber is going to be ready for this
Yes.
game. And how do you envision the rotation working at running back?
I haven't figured that out yet. They'll both play, but we haven't figured the exact rotation. I want to see how Mike had a good practice today. He went full speed today.